check this out. So I'm gonna take you through my full body dynamic effort training session. So we're gonna have everything from sprints, jumps, explosive stuff, and then also our strength lifts, finishing off again with some pump stuff, right? But I'll take you through everything except for dynamic warm-ups, which I just shot a video on that's on YouTube. You can find it, the full body dynamic warm-ups for this workout, right? You can check that one out, but I'm gonna take you through everything and then kind of explain it and break it down. Let's go. All right, so after warm-ups, right? So we're warmed up. I've done all my dynamic stuff. I've done my running drills. I got a little sweat going. This is kind of a primer, and I love doing, even before, so before I go into my sprints, okay, I'm going to do these kettlebell drop lunges, right? Where we're gonna break, we're gonna basically work on deceleration. So I'm gonna be here, get my little bounces on, drop, come back out of it. All right, so notice I'm stopping the movement, and then trying to get back out of it. All right, so I usually go about 6 to 8 reps, go one side, obviously do the same thing on the other side, get a full break. I'll tend to do about 3 sets of this, right? Get everything firing, get the nervous system firing. Again, it's fast drops. I'll usually progressively load it. So set 1, 45, set 2 might be 52, set 3, 62, maybe even a 72, right? My goal is to stop the movement and then come out of it as fast as possible. All right, so from there, part 2, we're gonna go into our sprints. All right, so just got done with our accelerations. Usually I'll go somewhere between 6 to 10 and then do different positions, right? Starting in this position, I might do a half kneeling, start where I punch it and drive out. Might start in a push-up position out of mountain climbers. So I usually do 2 to 4 of each, right? Again, different days, changing it up. But I'm gonna go through about 10 to 15 yards of sprint / acceleration because I can do that here in the gym. If you got more space, excellent, we can progress that. From there, I'm gonna go into my power work. And again, this is very, I would say, friendly where I don't do as much, I would say, Olympic weightlifting with barbells, but love, I would say, doing it with things like dumbbells, kettlebells, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do snatches. We're gonna go sets of 5 on this, and then we're gonna superset it with a single leg box jump, okay? So I would actually progressively work up on this and get to, 100 plus pounds. Again, challenge yourself. Like, you want to be able to make it heavy, but it should still move pretty fast, right? So that's our goal. So I'm gonna start from a hang position. So I'm gonna hang position. Bring it back down, reset. So let's say that was set 1. Obviously I do it on both sides. Take a mini break because we do a contrast set, right? So we do an explosive exercise, then go into our jump and our plyometric training. In this case, I'm going to go into a box jump and again, go single leg jumping up on the side. This pretty high box, but got it. So we do 4 jumps, both sides, take a full break, full recovery, probably somewhere in the 2+ minute range. And this will be like a 4 to 5 sets. We probably start off week 1 with 4 sets, again, focusing on quality. And the way that I do this, if set 1 I went 75, I'd go 85, 95, 100, maybe 105 on my last set for the snatches, right? Again, my goal is to make sure the weight's moving fast. My cue is, we want vertical power here specifically. And so I'm trying to think about throwing that weight up to the ceiling, right? Okay, all right, we're gonna go to our next part. This is gonna be kind of our strength portion. All right, so here's what we'll go to, like this will be a squat variation for the strength portion of this day. Now, this you can pick a lot of different things. So it can be a belt squat, a safety bar squat, front squat. I specifically, this is very, very joint friendly for me. So that's why I got the pendulum, because you can push the shit out of it. And while, again, my joint's feeling great. But if you don't have a pendulum, you know, pick the option of the squat that you can really produce a lot of force on and in without, you know, having nagging issues with low back, hips, things of that nature, right? So I'm gonna just go probably like a 6. This would be my 6 repper, but I'd go heavier, but I still wanna take you guys through this as if, right? Again, what's great with the pendulum, I got this, obviously, support on my low back. I can push into the pad, pull myself down, and I can get really good depth from it. 0 low back issues. Ooh-wee. So again, the reason why I think it's important too, because even if it's a very heavy load, intent matters, right? So rate of force development. How, like when I'm, even though it's heavy, when I'm going up, I want to push as fast as possible, because that's how we develop those fast twitch muscle fibers, right? So again, squat variation, pick the one you want. This would be a 4 sets of 6 type of day in my dynamic effort day today, right? And from here, this one, I'm gonna superset with a pull motion, right? With a horizontal row variation. So we're gonna do that right now. So we're going to a horizontal pull variation. Again, you know, when I get new gadgets, I'm gonna use a lot of new gadgets. I got this because it's such a, I would say, great pulling variation. It's the vertical arsenal strength row. And by the way, but pick any, you know, you could go for chest supported rows here, T-bar row, 1-arm dumbbell rows. You could go inverted rows and load the hell out of them, right? You could go cable rows, but this we're gonna keep in like the 8 rep range. So just think about what's gonna be challenging and heavy for you. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. What I love about these too is because it has the handles that rotate 360. So I can start pronated, I can finish in neutral position. I got my little, and again, there's a lot of different setups that I like here. I even like this one where I can go 1 arm, right? And row from this position. It's a great one. But for the purposes of today, we're gonna go chest tall. So that was a decently challenging. I probably go up. And again, when I've talked about this on the show, on the podcast, when a question comes up on these sets of 6 and or 8, how many should I leave in the tank? My rule tends to be like this, that if I'm doing 4 sets, I'm gonna have 2 sets where I'm gonna leave probably 1 to 2 reps in the tank. And then I'm gonna have 1 set when I leave 0, like 0 RIR, right, which is reps in reserve, basically where I couldn't do 1 more. And another one where I'm just gonna leave 1 in reserve. So I'm not gonna go all out on absolutely every set, right? I'm gonna leave a couple reps in reserve, but I'm gonna do at least 1 set where I push it to like, you know, 0. There's no more reps left in the tank. That's kind of like a pretty general philosophy for me. That's worked well for coaching over 20 years, to where you're having people progress, but not be too smoked, right? And from here, we're gonna go to our next superset. So I'll show you guys in a second. Okay, so this next setup, we're gonna go a sprinter lunge into step. I love this one. I love it from the standpoint of athleticism. Right, we're gonna work our posterior chain more, because a sprinter lunge is this position, right? So look at think if I'm in a trap bar deadlift and I just step back with that leg, right? I locked it out. I'm in that same position. I'm loading the glute with the hammy. And what we're gonna do is accelerate that way, boom, right? And get on our toes. My momentum is moving forward. And then we're just gonna step down, reset, and go from there, right? I'll just do 6. This is an 8 repper, but I'm gonna do 6 for this purposes. And then we're gonna go and load up the push-up variation with some weight. Again, I love doing push-ups, you know, for horizontal push, just because like if you're really, really strong, you can progress it. Weighted chins, eccentrics, add the chains. There's a lot of different ways where we can progress our push-ups, right? So I'll just show you guys that as our supersets. All right, so this will be a 3 sets of 8 exercise. I'm gonna do one side. Again, locking out that back knee. Propel forward. You can see I'm on my toes. My movement's moving forward. Accelerating. And break. Set up from 6. I did 8, damn it. But again, same thing. I would go heavier. If I'm like, hey, I can still stay fast on this and progress the load, go up to 52s, go up to 62s, whatever it may be. Again, where you're challenged but the form doesn't break down. From there, and like, I'll be taking a break where my heart rate's coming down. I'm not toasted, I'm not zapped, right? And I can start doing these. But I would even probably go weight vest, because with the push-ups now, this is kind of like I want to be somewhere in that 15 to 20 rep range, right? And, so I'm going to control the tempos a little bit. I'm going to put this on my low back. Again, somebody can sometimes do this for you. If you got heavier weight vests, you could do a plate. But I do like the chains. Also look more badass, you know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a 4-second down, up fast, right? Just go to basically my like technical failure. And I'm trying to keep it in at 12 to 15. Maybe here I'd be able to do quite a bit more, but for purposes of right now, I'm gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah. Five. Back. 5. 1. Back. 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 Take on. Back. 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 So let's say that was the last one before failure, right? Nice and controlled tempo. And again, we can use eccentrics, fast explosive on the way up. And I would be doing 3 supersets on those 2 babies right there. So we're gonna finish off with a hamstring curl variation. Like, if you have, a gym that has, I would say, curl machine, right? If you have a roller, you can do sliders. There's a lot of different things you can do. I'm gonna do a 2 up, 1 down. So I'm gonna do an eccentric on one leg on these. I'll just show you guys one side. So I'm gonna control about 3 to 4 seconds with one leg down, right? So we're gonna come up here. I'm gonna control it down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reset. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, hammy tearing off the bone. These are lovely. Oh yeah. So I'd go left and right, right? Hammy again, keep that control. By the way, like, you gotta decide, what is that level? You could go 2 up and eccentric with 2 down if you don't have that ability to go, 1. You're not there yet, that's okay. And from there, we're gonna go shoulder raises. Now I'm gonna keep these very, I'll say time and attention based. 15 reps. I'm just gonna go with 15s right now, but I'm gonna get a staggered stance, get a little bit of a lean. I'm not gonna start here. So I'm already gonna start here when I'm having my shoulder and attention, right? So coming up, above parallel, not going all the way down, just keeping a nice controlled tempo, like really getting that, how's that burn, that tension. So notice I'm not going all the way down, nice and controlled. When people get fatigued, they'll usually start relaxing here, but we really want to make sure we constantly get tension. Let's say I'm at 15. I might even do some iso here. Whew. Oh. Ooh. So that might be the whole spiel. In week one, I'd actually probably do 2 sets of this and then pick it up to 3 sets. And these ones, I might keep the break a little bit shorter. And again, this full body dynamic effort training session, you know, it's gonna take you, like this specific one, it's gonna be more than an hour, right? If you were like, hey, I only had an hour, I'd cut like this last superset out, right? And you'd be able to cut it down. Think meat and potatoes, right? Are kind of most important stuff, like sprints, jumps, explosive stuff, right? Big strength stuff. Like those are the big rocks. Not to say that everything afterwards doesn't matter, because it does, but if you had to cut it down, that's how I'd cut it down, okay? Now, with that said, try it out. The only way to understand is to do, right? Not just look at it in theory, but in my, I would say, Athlete for Life programs, which you can find on the app. You can look at the link below. This is the type of training that we do. Go through full body dynamic training session. Let me know how it feels. And if you want to see more tips, tricks, information, education like this to look, feel, perform like an athlete with no agonizing pains, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We'll see you next time. Peace out.